What a glorious day. Remember this moment.
What's the one word that unites the opening of the new US embassy in Jerusalem and Palestinian protesters being shot at by the Israeli military in Gaza? Occupation. Here in the US, it's not a word that gets mentioned very often, but the reason people are protesting the embassy move is because East Jerusalem is occupied territory under international law. And Gaza, that's occupied too, according to the UN. Now, President Trump and his surrogates are conveniently ignoring all this.
The United States stands with Israel because we both believe in freedom. We stand together because we both believe in human rights. We stand together because we believe democracy is worth defending.
That's positively Orwellian. Do freedom and human rights not apply to Palestinians too? And when the US media and US officials say
Both sides
are responsible for the violence, that's a sham. In fact, statements like this one are shameful.
As we have seen from the protests of the last month and even today, those provoking violence are part of the problem and not part of the solution.
Provoking violence? Yeah, unarmed Palestinian kids are just throwing themselves into Israeli bullets. Look, the reality is that one side has rockets and rifles, the other side has slingshots and flaming kites. One side, the Israelis, are doing the killing, and the other side, the Palestinians, are doing the dying. Trump might not know any history, and Jared might say he doesn't care about history, but here's how we got here. In 1967, the Israeli military occupied East Jerusalem, the West Bank, and the Gaza Strip. And in 1980, Israel annexed East Jerusalem. Both occupation and annexation are illegal. Now, you might think, didn't the occupation of Gaza end in 2005 when Israeli settlers were pulled out? Not quite. Israel still controls Gaza's borders, airspace, territorial waters, and population registry. Israel still occupies Gaza. And now the Trump administration is trying to rewrite history. This year, the State Department dropped its reference to occupied Palestinian territories in its annual human rights report. Trump and his surrogates say they're supporting peace.
The United States remains fully committed to facilitating a lasting peace agreement,
even as they continue to undermine it. There's a reason why US allies like Canada, Australia, Germany, France, and Britain didn't show up to the new US embassy opening. They all know this is another nail in the coffin of the so-called peace process. And until we recognize the root of the problem is the world's longest military occupation, not horrific acts of terror, not Hamas, not both sides, it's occupation that is the root of this conflict. Until we recognize that, there'll be no peace and no process.